I already told you guys about how I don't like the battle pass in my review of it. As for the map's alright. Oh, and I'll show you the glider that I'm using to go with Optimus Primal. You can see it's a bunch of razors, like razor blades. And of course the colors match perfectly, black and silver. But there's a logo of a bird on it, and this, to me in my head, canon is Arizor. Optimus Primal is honoring her by using her parts, the same way Optimus Prime kind of did with Jetfire in the second movie. I don't know, I think it looks cool. So, the point of this video and commentary is to discuss Transformers, and to be honest, this isn't a good month for Transformers fans. I was really excited for the Transformers and Fortnite collaboration because I wanted Transformers for a long time. And they completely fucked it up. They don't have transformation emotes. They're called robots in disguise, and they don't have a disguise. They're called Transformers, and they don't transform. But I've already complained about that in my review of the collab, so I'm not gonna get into that again. But Transformers fans take another L in the movie. Or at least real Transformers fans, ones that aren't casuals or kids or fanboys. Like, here's the thing, real fans can criticize things even if they love them, and that's just the truth of the matter. If you love something so much that you can't criticize the things that are wrong with it, or you turn a blind eye to the things that are wrong with it, or you can't handle other people criticizing it, simply because you're a fan of it, then you're not a real fan. Because real fans want the things that they're a fan of to be good. Why wouldn't a fan of Transformers want Transformers to be the best that it can possibly be? You know what I mean. And there's a lot of fanboys giving me heat because I called out Rise of the Beasts. It starts off bad, at least in my opinion. It starts off with some woke humor. There's this new character named Noah. He's about to go to an interview, and Noah's mom says, make sure you laugh at all their jokes. Because white people love that. Now I'm not white, so I don't really give a fuck. And I feel like if any white people did get triggered and offended by that, then they are snowflakes. The same way, the people who get offended by what I'm about to say are also snowflakes. If you were to replace white with any other color, or even women, people would have called it racist. There will be riots and all sorts of bullshit. I'll give you an example. If it was a white family that said, laugh at all their jokes, black people love that, there would have been tons of riots saying,
that's racist. Here the whites go again holding us sisters down.
If they said, laugh at all the jokes, women love that, there would have been tons of riots saying,
OMG. That's sexist, you misogynistic pig.
And again, real people know that's true. And if you don't think it is, then you're either not very connected to reality, or you're coping, but whatever. Noah then goes to the interview, and it's a horrible white, racist man in a position of power again, saying things like, we don't need people like you here. It's just a poor me attitude, and I'm just not here for it. I don't care what color you are, it's just dumb. It's stupid in my opinion, but I digress. Then we get finally into the Transformers side of the things, and we see Unicron and the Terracons, led by Scourge on the Maximal's planet. And then, what I was led to believe, the strongest Maximal at that time, Apple Inc., says take this warp key and escape. I will hold him off. So I'm thinking, okay, this is the strongest Maximal. He's a warrior. That means that he'll put up a fight. A badass final stand holding them off. The dude dies in 3 seconds. He dies in literally 3 seconds. So the strongest warrior dies in 3 seconds. That to me set the movie off on a bad note. Because it says to me, the Transformers' strength is going to depend solely on what stage of the plot we're in. Now, you might say, well, maybe Scourge is just that strong, okay? You can say that, but then his strength needs to stay consistent throughout the whole movie. He can't just suddenly be weak, because the plot demands it, and I think that's a fair request on my behalf. Apparently it's not, because they completely decide the strength of characters based on the plot. So we get to the museum, and you see the Autobots fighting the Terracons, and the Terracons are just mopping the floor. To be honest, nothing that the Autobots are doing seems to be working at all. And especially Battletrap. he's getting blasted by Autobot guns and cannons from, like RC and Mirage and Bumblebee. And it's like he isn't phased. You see the bullets just bouncing off of him. So you think, okay, these guys really are intimidating. They are strong. And Scourge just dog-walking Optimus Prime. Which again, they nerfed Optimus for the plot, which I don't like. It isn't a good look. So then, towards the middle movie, we finally meet the rest of the Maximals. Because at the museum, the only one we saw was Airazor. So then we finally meet the rest of the Maximals, and they get hardly any screen time. Optimus Primal gets a bunch, of course, but the rest hardly get any screen time. First of all, Airazor doesn't even transform once, and the others transform a total of once, and there's hardly any fighting scenes for them. This movie has the same problem as all the other. It's mainly a human soap opera with Transformers in it. In my opinion, a Transformers movie should be about mainly Transformers. I don't know if common sense isn't so common anymore or what, but that seems like a pretty simple and easy to understand concept, that a Transformers movie should be mostly about Transformers, but whatever. Oh, and I forgot to mention, at the museum, Bumblebee dies again, but there's no stakes. You're not sad because, you know, Bumblebee is a kid's fan favorite, so they're probably just gonna bring him back, in a generic, no real reason sort of way. And that's exactly what they do. Bumblebee comes back. And this is when it gets really bad in the final battle. You know, the movie's about to be wrapped up, so the good guys need to win. So what do? They start nerfing the bad guys again, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. The first one to go down, I'm pretty sure, was Nightbird. So suddenly, Nightbird is seemingly a weakling now. She literally turns into an explosive nuclear Lego. She gets stabbed with her own wing and just explodes into pieces. Because I guess kids need to get a badass scene for Bumblebee. And then you go to battle, Trap. Keep in mind this is the same battle Trap that was taking all the Autobots' bullets without flinching. And now, all of a sudden, he gets cut through like a hot knife through butter, and he goes down in a matter of seconds. And then Scourge, the same dude who was dog-walking Optimus Prime, suddenly is getting overpowered and outplayed by a human in a fucking tin can, like Iron Man. And then he gets cut through, like a hot knife through butter by Optimus. I don't know if Optimus got powered up by Noah saying, "Brooklyn baby," or if Scourge got like debuffs and weakened by Noah saying, "Brooklyn baby," but something happened that made Optimus as strong as he should have been, all of a sudden, and Scourge super weak all of a sudden. And I don't think that is an enjoyable experience. You compare it to the Michael Bay films, and the intimidation factor is not comparable. These new movies are basically completely designed for kids. There's nothing to be afraid of. In the first Michael Bay movie, we'll just take one example, the Tank Decepticon Brawl. He was fighting the US military, with all of their missiles and cannons, and RPGs and grenade launchers and machine guns. And at the same time, he was taking on Jazz and Ratchet and Ironhide and Bumblebee. And he tanked, no pun intended, because he is a tank, everything they had. It took like 10 minutes of constant barrages to bring him down. In the second Transformers movie, Megatron was eating point-blank tank cannons, without even being phased. In the forest fight, Optimus versus the 3 Decepticons. They were destroying each other, yet they didn't fall apart like Legos, or get cut through like a hot knife through butter. They were durable, and it felt intimidating. Even in the third movie, which was the last good one, in my opinion, Dark of the Moon, Sentinel Prime was taking on all of the Autobots and the US military, and ate an RPG to the face, and yet he did not explode like Legos. He did not fall apart like Legos, and he did not get cut through like a hot knife through butter. But then in the Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee, literally in the beginning, in the scenes on Cybertron, Bumblebee literally kills a Decepticon and makes the dude's head pop right off of his body by simply landing on him. Optimus Prime kills Decepticons by literally grabbing them and slamming them into the ground. Bumblebee kills Blitzwing by shooting his own missile. Bumblebee kills Dropkick with a human ship chain. He literally made Dropkick fall apart like Legos and explode from a human ship chain. Bumblebee kills Shatter with a human ship, which is basically just a piece of metal. He made Shatter explode into Lego pieces using a ship. Now, in my opinion, if these alien robots fall apart from human-made chains and human-made ships, that is not very intimidating, especially when you compare it to the older movies, where they could take 4 Autobots plus the military at the same time and really not be phased at all. And kids, I understand. They're gonna love it. Casuals, they don't know any better. They're gonna love it. And fanboys have small dicks and don't have any balls to criticize something they love. But I am a realist. I've probably been a fan of Transformers longer than these kids and casuals have been alive. And even though I love Transformers so much, probably an unhealthy amount, I have big enough balls to say, Lego, Decepticons and hot knife through butter. Decepticons and strength based only on plot. Decepticons is not a good movie. There is no stakes because the Autobots, specifically Bumblebee, just keep getting resurrected. You know, the Decepticons and villains and Terracons are not a threat or intimidating because they solely rely on the plot to determine how strong they are. And you know that the good guys are gonna win in the end. That is not a good movie, but it gets worse because the whole name of the movie is Rise of the Beasts, and yet you hardly see the beasts. And there's maybe 5 minutes maximum of beast fight scenes out of the whole movie. I'm not even exaggerating. There was more quotes about Brooklyn than there were fight scenes of the beasts. That's not a good movie. In a Transformers movie, there shouldn't be more humans than Transformer. There should not be more human screen time than Transformers. In a movie called Rise of the Beasts, there should not be more quotes about Brooklyn than beast scenes. This is just the truth. I'm being realistic. I want these movies to succeed, but if they're bad, I'm gonna say it no matter how much I love it, and no matter who likes it or not. And I know I'm gonna get hate for it, but I don't care. You people who come at me for stating these facts, and they are facts, and will never stop being facts. You people that come after me are just proving my point, that the only one who likes it are snowflake children, casuals and fanboys. But you're also proving the movie studios, correct? That they don't really need to make the movies good, because their target audience is mostly kids casuals, or little soft fanboys who will just eat everything up, no matter how horrible it is, and attack anyone who calls out the bad things. And that's sad, because if that continues, they will have no reason to make the movies actually good. The same way EA Sports and Activision don't really need to make their games good, because they just pander to the majority of casuals and noobs and fanboys. And the real fans, the people who are good at the game and want the game to succeed and actually be good, can't do anything about it because we are the minority. It's just really tragic, because I was so excited for this new movie, and it was literally just shit. But that's all I have to say. You guys can enjoy the rest of this gameplay. Tell me what you think about the movie, and if you agree with any of my points. And I'm gonna be real with you right now. If there's any kids or casuals or fanboys who start crying in the comments, I'm not even gonna respond or read what you have to say, because I stated facts. And these facts will not change. The movie will not suddenly be good, no matter how many tears you cry while you're coping. The reality is, they missed the mark again, because they made the Transformers second behind the humans again, and the bad guys were made of Legos again. Their strengths were determined by the stage of the plot in the movie. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching.